Is your child still sucking their thumb? Let's talk about ways to be done with the thumb for good. Hi, my name is Whitney and I'm a dental hygienist here to talk about thumb sucking, why it's bad, and how to stop. Most toddlers will give up thumb sucking on their own, but others will need a little extra help. Ideally, you'd want your child to stop sucking their thumb by the time they are 2 or 3 years old, and definitely before preschool. And you want them to stop not only because it tends to be socially unacceptable after a certain age, but also because there are many dental risks related to thumb sucking. So it's always good to try and help break the habit before more serious dental issues like changes in facial anatomy and tooth misalignment occur, right? Because the child's mouth is rapidly growing and developing, so just like braces apply pressure to move teeth, just like braces do that, repeated sucking motions or the presence of a thumb or pacifier in your child's mouth can also lead to changes in their mouth, such as overjets, open bites, underbites, and also things like speech impediments, TMJ disorder, and breathing and sleep disturbances. So how do you get them to stop? Number 1, slowly wean them off. Giving up thumb sucking or a pacifier doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, practice, and a whole lot of grace. In all honesty, shoot for more like a few weeks to a month instead of a couple of days. Like, think about how if your child has been a thumb sucker for months, if not years, breaking the habit is going to take a little time. Stopping cold turkey usually isn't a thing, and slow and steady is what usually wins the race. Number 2, praise and reward. The most important thing to remember when you're trying to figure out how to stop thumb sucking is to keep things positive. Try not to dwell on the negative. Each time you catch your child trying not to suck their thumb, be sure to verbally praise them for the great job they're doing. Positive reinforcement helps kids feel seen, comforted, and reassured that they're on the right track. Number 3, keep hands busy. Boredom, or just sitting still, is enough to trigger thumb sucking. So if you know you're about to take a long car ride, a trip to the store, or sit in a doctor's office, whatever the case, if you're gonna be sitting somewhere for a while, make sure your child has something to keep them occupied. Maybe try to find an alternative toy to fidget with, like a pop-it, push-pop toy, fidget spinner, stress cubes. There's a bunch of things out there to keep kids distracted and take their minds off of sucking their thumb. Number 4, milestone rewards. This is a big one. I had a patient tell me this once that they did this with their child and it worked really well, so I've been sharing it with everyone. And I had multiple first-hand stories where this worked. So what they did was print out a calendar for the month, and they bought a pack of stickers and figured out a reward for each end of the month. So for my patient, it was a trip to their kids' favorite indoor trampoline park, but it can be anything. A new game, a toy, whatever it is, the zoo. Have your child put a sticker on every day they go without sucking their thumb. Chances are it might take a few weeks to get through the first week. You might even want to consider smaller rewards as you conquer each week milestone. But then, at the end of the month, once they are completely free of thumb sucking, they finally get the big reward that they've been waiting for. Number 5, teach ways to cope. Anxiety is real, and not all of us cope with it as well as others, especially if there are stressors that kids can't control, like changing schools, the birth of a new sibling, if a pet passes away, whatever it is, stress can trigger soothing habits such as thumb sucking. So it's super important to help your child learn other ways to relax, such as playing outside to get some exercise, breathing patterns, coloring or working on puzzles, or talking to someone about their feelings. Number 6, physical interventions. Another great thing to do if your child sucks their thumb at bedtime specifically is to place something over their hands. Mittens, socks, a pair of gloves. They obviously have to be on board to do this or else they will just take them off themselves. But the point of this one is to help them remember that they are trying to stop, right? So if they are sleepy and dozing off, this will help prevent them from being half asleep, putting their thumb in their mouth out of habit. If they have a glove on their hand and they go to do it when they're sleepy, they'll be like, oh yeah, okay. It's a good reminder. Number 7, thumb guards. So there are special devices out there that are made to go over your child's thumb and they're strapped around their hand. The part over the thumb is like a thick plastic splint or tube. They are great if your child is only interested in sucking their thumb, but it may not work if your child subconsciously moves on to the next finger to suck on. So usually in more extreme cases, dentists can actually place a special appliance on your child's teeth. These devices are usually used for habits like tongue thrusting, but they can help breaking a thumb or finger sucking habit as well. And lastly, number 8, never scold your child. It's almost instinctive for us to be like, hey, stop! We kind of tend to shout at our kids when they make a bad choice or when they are doing something that they shouldn't, including sucking their thumb. But because thumb sucking is often a way of soothing themselves, scolding your child usually only makes matters worse, because then they will only try to hide the habit from you. So usually talking to them about it gently will help make the process a more team effort. So those are the 8 tips to prevent thumb sucking. And if you've already tried all of these tips and you're still struggling, my best advice is to talk with your family dentist. Like I mentioned in number 7, some dentists or orthodontists can order a special appliance to put on your kids' teeth. And it's kind of pokey, so it wouldn't be comfortable for them to put their finger in their mouth if they have that on. In all, just know that some children will have a harder time than others with breaking a thumb sucking habit. So don't count on them to do it on their own. They definitely need your help, and the best help you can give is to stay positive and keep open communication. I hope this video helped you. Please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications if it did. If you want more teeth talk, you can visit my website, teethtalkgirl.com, and hang out with me on Instagram at teethtalkgirl. Peace, love, and teeth.